5 years after an Alabama woman had died from pneumonia in a jail, a lawsuit filed by the family is getting their day in court. Now, the father of Autumn Harris sued the private medical company that provides healthcare in the Walker County Jail for malpractice. So he claims that the family claims that jail nurses never treated their daughter with pneumonia for the several weeks that she was held, despite her obvious condition. Harris was just 34 years old at the time, had died in the Walker County Jail on December 5th, 2018, after being incarcerated for 3 weeks for failing to appear at a hearing in a misdemeanor theft case. Now, she was suffering from pneumonia. And by the way, the case that she was actually supposed to go to court for involved another woman accusing her of stealing $40. $40. Michael Harris, Autumn's father, had filed a medical malpractice lawsuit, again alleging that she had received no treatment for her pneumonia from these healthcare workers inside the jail. According to AL.com, Harris was diagnosed with pneumonia on October 31st and was prescribed antibiotics. She was arrested 2 weeks later, and she gave jail officials her medication when she was booked. She said, "Look, I still have pneumonia. I'm on antibiotics. I need to have my medication." They did not give her medication. Without access to it, her condition got worse over those 3 weeks. And so, I mean, why didn't they notice? Having pneumonia, fairly noticeable, especially when they had already told the jail and the healthcare workers. So now this is where privatization comes into play, right? The company, Preemptive Forensic Health Solutions, was tasked with providing health services for the jail. However, this company never documented giving her antibiotics until the final day. And they only did so after she was misdiagnosed with a UTI. Oh, it gets even more infuriating because she had told these nurses, I have trouble breathing. I need my medication. And like, go do yoga. Go for a walk. She's in jail and has pneumonia. Why are you telling her to go to walk? Why? Go for a walk? What? Where am I going to walk to? Maybe I should walk to a real hospital. Oh, right. I'm in jail. I can't. And I'm being held for $40. Over $40. This is absolutely horrifying. And again, they have no records of treating her infection despite the obvious signs. In fact, according to witnesses, on December 1st, 2018, she reported shortness of breath and died 4 days later. Other inmates reported that she was unable to sit and stand and was losing control of her basic body functions, according to all witness testimony. Another person in the deposition said that the 34-year-old had begun to hallucinate and was calling her mama. All of that. We're like, oh, you must have a UTI. Took her medication. Her antibiotic that she needed for this. Again, this is absolutely insane. And again, the difficulty breathing, they treated her at one point with an anxiety protocol, saying, again, she should take walks and do yoga classes. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, after she died, the autopsy found that, of course, she died from pneumonia. Her lungs were just filled with fluid and infection and actually weighed about 4 times that than a healthy set of lungs. They were that filled. I mean, the criminal negligence shown by this company and this jail, by the way, that employed them is, I mean, it should be punishable. And yet, this is just this is a malpractice suit. This company should be absolutely like just sued into oblivion, which I'm hopeful that this man's case is successful in doing so. And that they don't just come back, or they don't just rebrand like we've seen defense contractors do and other companies that have faced, certain issues. No, this company and these executives, especially, and the nurses, need to be jailed themselves. Again, maybe that might be, too cruel and unusual to be left under their own care. Because it will kill you. Now, Harris's attorney, Justin Jones, said this. He's got some statements here. He said, pneumonia is one of the most common respiratory infections in the United States. Also, one of the most common reasons for hospitalization, is a killer, and yet it's very treatable. If you actually take the time to treat it. In this case, he says, there was systemic failure from the start to finish to apply well-established standard of healthcare to a patient. Those failures ultimately caused her death. And then added that the autopsy was a brutal picture of just how far the disease had progressed over time. Well, this tells you a lot about the prison system. And not just about prison healthcare companies, which I'm railing on, but also the carceral system in the United States does not see you as a human being. It doesn't see you as a person. It doesn't care about you at all, whether you live or die. Which is very, very obvious from all the different stories involving people not getting medical care when they're in prison, when you're in jail. They would rather let you die over $40 than treat you like a human being. And it's not just about money. It's not just about, again, how much the state is spending on these jails. No, it's actually more about the dehumanization aspect. You are a criminal, therefore your life is forfeit. That's it. Oh, you allegedly stole something that's worth $40? Lock him up. Lock her up. And if she's ill, we don't care. Let's let her die. It's $40. What are you going to do? You're going to prioritize her life, or you're going to prioritize the property? I mean, we see absolutely what our society prioritizes. And it is this, again, incredibly punitive, horrible approach to crime that we have in this country, in our culture. That is the sickness. The real sickness inside of our prison system is how prisoners are treated, and how people who have broken the law, how they're treated for doing so. Breaking the law does not immediately give anyone grounds to strip you of your humanity. You're still a person, and you still have rights, the right to survive, the right to live, and the right to get treatment for your illness. Just because you're a prisoner doesn't mean you lose the basic right to survive. It's insane that we live in a system like this. And this is a good example. And by the way, I know some of you might be like, okay, what color was she? Well, this woman just happened to be white. White, 34-year-old young woman. And yes, that is young. Now that's happening to people like her, but it's also been happening to black people far longer and in far more barbaric conditions. Now it's gotten to the point that, hey, $40. I mean, if you're someone who's poor or doesn't have a lot of money, it doesn't matter. We don't care about you at all. So now you have poor white people, you have poor black people, you have poor Hispanic people. Again, you have black people that actually get arrested and sentenced prison time far more often than white people. That said, once you're in there, once you're in that system, it's over for you. It doesn't matter anymore. Once you're branded a criminal, you are thrown away for the rest of your life. And if you were unlucky enough to have a pre-existing condition or to even be, ill at that time, your life may be forfeit. And it's disgusting. And it needs to change. We need prison reform, and we need it. We've needed it yesterday. We've needed it decades ago. And until we get it, things like this are going to continue to happen.